Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Got a 2016 Nissan. It's the Juke. It's the used car guy special. It's from the auction. At least I'm assuming there's no plates or nothing on it. It's clearly been wrecked front to back. The entire thing looks like it was painted with a roller. The used car dealer brought it here because the TPMS light is on and the seat belt light is on. And evidently they didn't do anything to correct it. They have their own shop. So I'm not real sure, not a car dealer I've ever dealt with, so I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. At any rate, I did print us out a diagram for those supplemental restraints that has both the seatbelt switches on it, and they appear, at least the driver's side, that it goes straight to the seatbelt indicator as well as going to the airbag diagnostic module. So I plugged the scan tool in. I just got a weird feeling about this one. Plug the scan tool in right on the floor, and we'll cut the key on. The fan comes on, runs on whatever speed, and then we'll look at scan data and see if we can learn anything just by that. Let's see. We'll fire it up here. Show you guys what's up. So the airbag light, I think, goes off. Yeah, airbag light goes off. Seatbelt indicators on down there, and then the TPMS light, which TPMS light's not blinking, so that tells me the tire is probably just low on air. Anyhow, I would. Alright, so we're key on, engine off. Like I say, the cooling fan seems to run continuously with the key on. Probably somebody's been doing some wiring. That would be my guess. Let's just do a full system scan here. See what we come up with. See if there's any codes there. An airbag module. No engine light, but we do have a code there. AC could affect the way the cooling fan operates as well. Let's just go to report. I mean, we could just have a bad seatbelt switch. Engine, we got CAN. Interesting that the light's not on. It says it's a current code. Let's just see. I thought I saw that the service engine soon light was actually working. So let's see if somebody's done the old code clear on it, which in good auction fashion, I would assume it is. Yep, so somebody's cleared the code. Drive cycle is not finished. Hook back here, so drive cycle's not done. But yeah, mill is supposed to be off. We'll go here. So it has a old permanent code in it, so perhaps somebody has done something, some coils or something, rolling all this stuff along. Direct injection gas. Nissan does it different, in case you wonder what a big turbo is. Let's see. Okay, let's go back. Let's get in that airbag module, see if it recognizes any inputs from these brake switches, because, or yeah, the brake switch, the seatbelt switch, because you can see the driver's side here goes up and goes into unbuckle switch input to this module. Then it comes over here, runs up on the white wire, and goes straight to the seatbelt indicator. And there's also a seatbelt indicator light here coming out of the module, and I assume because we have the passenger seatbelt, which that one does not branch according to the aftermarket diagram. That just goes into right-hand buckle switch input. So we'll pop back in here. 14 Juke. It's interesting when this decodes it, it comes up as a Juke Nissan. But when you look at the back of the car, it's got an SL sticker on it. I didn't run the bin through Nissan yet. So let's pop in here. We'll go to live data and see if we can find these seatbelt inputs. Wow, lots of good stuff there. Okay. All right, so no useful information here whatsoever. Handy. Don't work on a ton of Nissans. I would think there would be live data in there. Maybe we'll try a different scan tool just to be certain. If not, these look like pretty simple switches. So they appear to be, if you look at them, they're just a ground side switch. Now I don't know if unbuckled, they're normally closed, and then you buckle it and it comes open. I don't know. In either case, I would assume that there's some kind of bias voltage on this, you know, on this line that gets pulled down. Well, let's think about this. So this LED is fed full-time power. So that would have to be supplied to ground when the seatbelt is unbuckled to light the LED. So that tells me that when you buckle it up, that the ground goes open. So we can just do a simple test on that switch, because that's the only way that LED would work manually. But it kind of stinks that we can't see data to tell, you know, we got a switch input problem, or do we have, you know, the airbag modules telling it to turn on? Because like I say, looking at the car, it's clearly been fiddled with. Well, we're gonna have to do this one with the fan running there, because the little door dinger doesn't stop. I'm just seeing if there's anything kind of shoved under the seat here. Let's go look in the back. Get that seatbelt switch. I'm going to try to follow those wires there and see where in the world they go. Okay, so they go down. Look under that front part of the seat again there. Okay, so it's got to be the seatbelt switch wires right there. Technically, if we unplug it, the light should go out if the diagram's correct. Let me stuff my face down here. Sorry, you guys probably ain't gonna be able to see much here. I can't see much. Okay, so those are definitely the wires. See if we can't balance that. The problem is, my fingers don't work. There we go. So what color is that? That's, it looks like pink and black. Diagram said they're supposed to be red and black. Of course, one's coming from the switch. Look, they're gray and black. Let me just see if the light's out. Yeah, just for poop and laughter, let me start it. Might have to be started. Alright, so we got a door ajar light and a seatbelt light as well. But the problem is, we don't know. Well, we don't know what we don't know. I don't know where these go. Just for the hell of it, let's do. Wonder if we should do the passenger side as well. I don't know if there's a passenger airbag light or anything. Cause like I say, you can't read even when you go into the passenger occupant classification module. You still can't read data with it. I'm gonna go unplug the driver's side or passenger side as well, just to see if there's any change there. So I just unplugged the passenger side, and the light's out. So let's plug this driver's side back in. That would be a big clue for us. It's interesting. I don't know why that one would be on if there's nobody in the seat. Okay, that one's plugged back in. Seatbelt light is on. Let's get the seatbelt. Plug it up. Seatbelt's plugged up. Light is out. Light is on. Okay, so our problem is in the passenger side. So, and this seat's got a little jack on it. Flick it up and down. Alright, go to the passenger side. Let's see, where did we leave off? Just had a visitor here. Old friend stopped in. So I lost an hour. Let's see. If we can wiggle this connector off here. Make darn tootin'. That the switch is bad, which really shouldn't have to prove because, well, we kind of did. But just want to make darn sure that there's not some other weird thing here. We're getting led astray. Get behind that sucker. This seat does not have a little jack up on it, so we can't just lift this seat up. There we go. Okay. Now what you guys can see, probably nothing is going to be my guess. Let's see, maybe we can do something different here. Alright. What we got? Okay. We'll have to pop that back in. I guess what? Move our light out here. Those pins are so tiny I can't even see them. Alright, well, I was going to try to use just some gator clips here. I don't know if we can. We'll probably have to go dig in our AES Waveview test kit to get the correct terminals. This is highly inconvenient with everything in my way here. Let's see. Yeah, let me go get the right tool for the job here. Let's see. I think I have the correct ones. Correct enough anyways. They might be too fat though to run a double here. I don't know if I can stick side by side. I don't think so. No, because the insulation damn near touches the other pin. So, alright, so we can't do it that way. So we're going to have to go the old-fashioned way. Back probe. Alright, here we go. We'll switch our leads. Probably should have done this first. Alright, here we go. I know you guys can't see the meter or anything like that. But what makes this different than any other video? Poor photography and even cheesier comments. Let's see. Touch our leads together. Ooh, look at this. Touching my leads together. And I've got OL on my meter. What's that tell us? That says you got a bad lead there, Rocco. Let's find out which one it is. It appears that black one is not working. Or the red one. Make sure to plug this in the right way. I didn't hit hold on the meter. What kind of low quality production is this guy making? Jumper this red lead over. Maybe I got an actual bad lead. I would have thought the probe was bad. No continuity on the red lead. Let's try the black one. Hey, the black one works at 0.1 ohm. Wow, do I actually have a bad lead? So this is why you always test your test equipment, folks. If we don't get anything out of this video, let this be a lesson to you. Let me just make sure I had it plugged in all the way. Plug the red one in. Oh, no. Maybe I just didn't have it plugged in all the way. Let this be a lesson to you, folks. Always test your test equipment. Human error does exist. Now let's try to touch these two together. Hey, look at that. Now it works. Isn't that handy? Okay. Back to where we started. What are we even doing this for? Oh, because we don't have scan data. We want to make damn sure we're not missing something. This one goes directly to the module, so we really shouldn't be missing anything. Unless it was pin fitment. Oh, so right there it is direct to ground. So what we're doing, folks, is we're plugged into the connector that goes from the seatbelt switch. Now remember, looking at the diagram, when you connect and disconnect the seatbelt, it should be going from closed circuit to open circuit. So right now, seatbelt's disconnected. And now it's connected. Oh, disconnected. Oh, is this thing actually freaking working? Because when it's connected like that, we want to see open circuited. Oh. Uh-oh. What does that mean? What does that mean? Why did the light go out when we unplugged it then? Okay, so let's do this. Let's unhook our meter. Did we just have to plug in and unplug the seatbelt? That doesn't make sense. That appears to work. This is my worst fear, is that something like this is happening, but we're not going to have an explanation. Okay, let's plug that in. Seatbelt is unplugged. We're going to plug in. I'm just going to not move the camera real quick. I'm going to plug the driver's side seatbelt in. We're going to turn the key on. Okay, key's on. The seatbelt light is out. Oh, now it's on. Sorry. Let me plug in the passenger side seatbelt. Passenger side seatbelt is plugged in. The seatbelt light is out. I disconnect the passenger side and the light comes on. Okay, so this is a problem, folks. Let me get you up here. Let me set you right here. Sorry for the weirdness. They got too much used car guy shine on the dash. Whoa! If you know, you know. They love their used car slime. So this is not right. Why does it think there's a passenger? That's the problem. Because the seatbelt light's on, staying on, until I plug in the passenger seatbelt. Then the light goes off. And the only reason it can do that, I would assume, is because passenger classification thinks that there is somebody in the passenger seat. Is there a passenger side airbag light in here anywhere? So now we have a little bit of knowledge, because this switch clearly works. And that's why, by simply unplugging it, we did not make the assumption that that it's just a bad switch. So that was my fear. That's why I wanted to go through and just double check the switch, which I was hoping was just a big fat waste of time. Clearly it is not, because this does have passenger classification of some sort, so it must think that somebody's sitting here, and that's why I was kind of hoping to see like a passenger airbag light. Okay. I don't see anything here in the telltales. So this just got a little more interesting. Also with used car guys, sometimes we don't get to fix everything because it's, won't be economical, and they'll just send it back through the auction. So let me look into this, see if we can, now we actually have to check, see if another scan tool can read this and see if somebody's, if it thinks somebody's sitting in the seat. But being this car's been wrecked all the way around, there's not a corner of this car that has not been painted or has had some sort of body work done to it. So we kind of got to keep that in the back of our mind. I'm just going to log in with Harbor Freight Icon T10 here, let it get the VIN, and then I'm just going to jump right into vehicle. Oops. We'll go Juke. Hit confirmed. And I'm going to jump right into the anti-lock brakes. That thing, man, the SRS module here. And see if it gives us any more data, perhaps. We have some special functions. And we're going to go selection from menu. I don't know what that means. So same thing, just one line, status, PIDs on. Go passenger airbag, same thing. So really no value there. And I don't know if that's, if we had the factory tool, if we would be in the same situation. No DTC selected. I'm going to have to do some looking in service data. If we go to occupant detection sensor, and then we go to data stream, TBD. I don't know what their acronyms mean here. I'll have to look into that. 0-point reset. I don't know if it's worth trying to do a 0-point reset. I'll have to look before I hit, OK to do that. Sometimes they require sticking stuff on the seat, but this one says, check following, do not put any object on the passenger seat, do not sit on the passenger seat, the seat back is in standard position. After checking, touch start. Let me make sure there's nothing on the seat. All right, we didn't leave anything on it. We will hit start. Sometimes there's a specific amount of weight and I don't want to goof it up. But we'll see, maybe once it does this, it'll say, hey. All right, already performed. She's a real performer. Let's go see if miraculously doing a 0-point calibration on it got rid of our light. Light should be on because of the driver's side. Okay, so seatbelt light is on. Let's plug up the driver's side. Oh, look at that. The light went out. Unplugged, lights off. So simple as that. It thought that there was somebody in the seat. Does that mean that the bladder or whatever system they have in there is going funky? I don't know. Let's just test this theory here. Maybe they put a different seat in. Never did that. Let's leave that in. Now, if we go sit in on the passenger side, theoretically, that light should come back on. My big old butt up in here. Oh, yep, there it is. So the light came back on with me sitting in it. Now if I get out, walk around, time to get here, I imagine that light will be out. And it is. The seatbelt light is now out until we unhook the driver's side. Bada bing, bada boom, that was easy. No parts required. We'll cut that key off. Or uncut the button. I don't know what they call it. So, I don't know. It would have been really nice to read data because we could have seen what the module was seeing. I don't know what size occupant it takes to trigger that light. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating not being able to see data, but we ended up getting to the problem in a roundabout way anyways. Could have done it with the Altel, but is what it is. I'm going to do a little more research on that. I do have a friend that does a lot of this kind of stuff for body shops. I'm going to check with him to see if these are, a known issue, something we should be concerned about or not. And then we'll move on to the TPMS. I did go around and check all the tire pressures, and they are all at 35 PSI. I don't know what module's in control of the tire sensors. Typically, when there's a communication problem, like with a sensor not communicating to whatever RFH hub it goes to or whatever they call it, usually the light's blinking. In this case, you start the car, the light's just on steady. So as we move on to the TPMS light, what's curious is there's no module throwing any codes against it. So that's kind of bizarre. So the modules that are not so remember we have that U1000 code stored in this CAN network code, not throwing an engine light, anything of that matter. What's curious is the only modules that it shows that aren't communicating are this positive temperature coefficient heater, headlight leveling system, electronic controlled suspension, and all-wheel drive, which is kind of weird because this is all-wheel drive. Whether or not it's supposed to have a module, I don't know. And then this surround view monitoring system. So these are modules that it likely doesn't even have, on the exception of the all-wheel drive. So what I need to do now, I'm going to go through with our Altel ITS 600 scan tool, or our TPMS tool. We're going to read, make sure all the sensors can read. We'll just try real quick to do an OBD2 relearn with it. Again, I don't know right offhand which module is in charge of the TPMS sensors, but I would think with the light being on, it would have a code set against it, unless the light circuit is shorted and turned on, in which case I still think it would have a code set against it, but I could be wrong there. Most modules that control lights also have the ability to set a code against the light, like, mil circuit short of the ground, mil circuit open, so if people pull bulbs and stuff, it still, puts codes in there. I'm going to do that, and then if we don't get anywhere, which I don't suspect we will, then we're going to look in service data and see, who's in charge of the TPMS system. You guys are looking, if you're in a shop and you're looking for a good TPMS tool, this is probably hands down one of my most favorites. So it just ID'd the vehicle. So we'll come over here, see if we can read data from the left. I do see that it has newer tires on it. So we'll let it sit here and see if we can pick up the ID or if we just got a bunch of bad sensors. This might be a bit of a two-sided problem here. So I tried scanning them at 315 megahertz, 413 megahertz, and I can't pick up a single sensor in this car. I wiggle the valve stems around and it feels like they might not have any sensors on it. Of course, it's got brand new skins. You know, somebody just put brand new tires on it. You see the bead sealer on the rim and stuff. What's curious is it's got bead sealer all over the valve stems too, so like they had the stems out. So I just tried running diagnostics on it. It says read IDs failed. No DTCs. So that's super bizarre. Let me poke around here, folks. So looking through the live data here, you know, it does show all the tires at 0 PSI, and it doesn't show any ID registration for all 4 of them. No numbers, no nothing. Pretty bizarre. The light's not shorted. I went into special functions. I still don't know which module is responsible for this, but obviously we can talk to it. It has communication. What's bizarre to me is that the light doesn't blink like most systems, so I guess that's a sometimes but not always situation. And the fact that there's no codes in it kind of blows my mind. I think what we'll do is we'll just grab 4 blank sensors, we'll program it, we won't even stick them in the car, we'll make sure that it can, you know, read and report the IDs and program it, and then call and give the customer the option, you know, you want these things or not. Pretty bizarre. Let's try this. I've got 4 sensors. I just wrote data to them, so they're all for a Nissan Juke. Now we're gonna go through. Probably is not gonna like this one right on top of the other. But we're gonna go through and trigger each one of them, and then we're gonna try to write this data to the vehicle. Of course, they're, you know, not gonna read any pressure in them because we don't have them in a wheel. But we'll see if these ID numbers, these hex ID numbers, all of a sudden show up. Oops, this guy hit the power button. All right, so there, now we've got 4 unique IDs. Don't worry, the beauty of the Altel sensors is you can write as many IDs to them as you want. So if we end up putting them in a Chevy or whatever, we just rewrite them. So now we're gonna go to relearn. We're gonna do OBD relearn. Let it go through its little ordeal here, and then we're gonna go back in the live data and see if where it showed the IDs, see if it shows back up there. So I'll let this here do its thing. It can take a little bit. According to this, it was a success. It took quite a while. OBD relearn okay. So let's do this. Let's go to, well, we want to go to diagnostics, and then we're going to hit retry diagnostics. This takes a while too. This thing communicates pretty slow. Not the Altel tool, but this Nissan in general. Pretty slow communication. I'll let this get going, then we'll see if we can get in there to live data. I'm curious, while we're waiting for that, can we go have a little look at the light? Is the light flashing now or doing anything different? That's on just steady right there. So key off, key back on. Yeah, it's just lit up steady. Okay. Oh. Up here it says check pressure, check tire pressure. Did it say that before? Did I overlook that? I'm gonna have to look back through, because now it says check tire pressure. I'm gonna feel like a real freaking idiot if it said something there that I didn't notice before. Oh, son of a gun. Good thing we got video proof. If it wasn't such a pain in the hoo-ha, I would just look back here in my little viewfinder and figure that out. Oh look, now we've got 4 codes. What are the details on that? 4 low tire pressures. Try to get this up here where at this point we probably could plug in a regular scan tool. Low pressure left front, low pressure right front, low pressure right rear. See, this is what I was thinking we were going to see before. How in the thunder did somebody get rid of all the IDs? Pretty bizarre. So if we go into live data, which we really don't need to now, because this is what I expected to see. ID numbers, codes, but there was nothing. I don't know. We probably could look into it a little further.
Hot out there.
Yeah, it is.
I don't even feel like I need to start my car.
I know, it's like 42 degrees out.
Yeah.
I'm like, woo! It's good. My furnace only ran a couple times a day.
Like, I don't need a coat. It's warm.
It's hot in here
Some
right now.
people said they were going to start thinking about doing stuff in their garden.
Shut up.
Yeah. Like ordering seeds for it.
Oh, I see. That kind of stuff.
Pruning.
No. I'm not thinking about garden stuff. You know why? Because it's February. ID registration done. Interesting. Of course, 0 PSI. I think with confidence now, regardless of what somebody else might have done, you know, maybe some aftermarket tool, something of that matter. I did go into the service function. Supposedly you can turn the system on and off, but when I try to do it, it says, you know, option not available for this vehicle. Perhaps there's some aftermarket stuff they did to it, but in either case, it didn't turn the light off. We're gonna exit up out of here. And I believe that that's that. We'll grab our dongle with a light. Whoever invented that is a freaking genius, man. Because you're like, oh, let me go under here and find a connector that I can't plug into. Let me shut the door, quit the dinger going on. Very interesting. I don't recall seeing that check pressure. I would hope that I'm observant enough to that I would have seen that. Let me start it up. I'm really doubting myself. I'd like to think I'm that good. Now it says check, tire, press. I remember sitting in here and toggling through the menus, and I would have seen that. I'm not that big a dummy, am I? You think I'm a dummy?
Depends on the day, I guess.
Really not helping me out here, Mrs. O, but...
What? Not when it comes to cars. Maybe it comes to like communication.
Relationships. Does that lady need her buttons pushed? Okay, I'll give you.
We know you know how to do that.
I'm a button pushing machine. I need a haircut too. Will you help me out?
Today? No, I gotta get groceries. Unless you don't want to eat.
I do.
Okay.
Anyhow, folks, I think I'll be right in, so I'll give you a hand. Okay. You want to pull it up on the YouTube, see how to pop them things apart?
Where are the batteries?
In your box. In your battery box. More specifically. Just totally lost my train of thought. I think I can confidently call the customer now and tell them that we had to perform a 0-point calibration on this seat because somehow the calibration got out of whack. Perhaps somebody put a used airbag module in this thing and then never finished that portion of it, because that's plausible, at least according to Keith over at L1 Auto Diagnostics. When I spoke to him about it, he said the way that these work, that's plausible. That could have happened. And as long as there's no warning lights on, no codes or anything in the airbag module pertaining to occupant classification problems or anything like that, I have to assume that was it. And then the TPMS sensors, why it had no IDs registered to it, I don't know. Maybe it got put into registration mode and then it was just never completed, which I guess. But with auction cars, there's a lot of guessing because you have no history on it. And I doubt that either one of these items or why it went to the auction. That's to be determined later by the poor sap who gets to buy it. He'll figure out why, or she'll figure out why it went to the auction, typically. Nissan with a CVT. Who knows? If I get the job, I'll put it together, and if it's anything beyond what we've already discussed, then I'll come and get you. Otherwise, we're going to keep on keeping on. So you guys keep on in that comment section. Weird video, I know. Questions, comments, Insta, the Facebook. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.